Welcome to Ninerology, Faithful in the Trenches. I'm your host, Alan, and we're here to talk about the 2025 Super Bowl matchup prediction, the very early prediction for this upcoming year. And do the 49ers have a shot at the Super Bowl this upcoming year? And I think that's a great place to start off. Before we get to the predictions, let's talk about the 49ers' chances. If we're being honest, this is the last chance the 49ers really have with this window, with this team to get to the Super Bowl. And one of the reasons why is Brock Purdy is getting paid next year. That's just what's going to happen. He's in the third year of his rookie deal. Rookies cannot get paid till after the third year. And so that's why he couldn't get paid this offseason. But the benefit to that is they're able to pay several other skill positions and other key areas to surround the team with talent. You have so many people on the team that are the highest paid player at their specific position. You have Trent Williams, the highest paid left tackle in the game. Kyle Juszczyk, even with the pay cut, is the highest paid fullback in the game. You have George Kittle, who's one of the top 3 paid tight ends in the game. You have Deebo Samuel, who's paid very nicely as well. You have Fred Warner, one of the highest paid middle linebackers in the game. You have Nick Bosa, the highest paid defensive end in the game. You have Javon Hargrave, one of the highest paid defensive tackles in the game. You have Christian McCaffrey, the highest paid running back in the game. And so you have so many people that are getting paid. Brandon Ayuk, who's going to get paid soon. Deommodore Lenoir, who's going to get paid soon. That this year really is the last year, as long as they stay healthy, to really make that deep run and try to capitalize on this Super Bowl that's been eluding them. The last time probably with this core team to be able to get there. We've seen sort of those ripple effects with Eric Armstead needing to be let go and those types of things. And so the question is, what have they done this year to stay competitive with the salary, knowing that next year things are going to change? And the very first thing is some of the resignings. You know that Sam Darnold did not stick around. They did not resign him, but they got Joshua Dobbs, who is the journeyman quarterback, who is a phenomenal backup, great person to have on the team. So he was signed. You have Leonard Floyd, who's signed, who's replacing Chase Young, who honestly was a disappointment. I kind of hoped that they would sign him, see what he would do throughout the offseason, but they ended up signing a great signing in Leonard Floyd. Leonard Floyd, phenomenal defensive end, signed him to a 2-year deal, several consecutive years with at least 10 sacks, 58 career sacks, and so just a constant motor. So somebody that is toward the end of his career, getting ready to turn 32, but hasn't shown signs of slowing down yet. Linebacker, they needed to make a change. Not a change, but they needed to do a signing for Dre Greenlaw, who's recovering from the Achilles injury, who's hoping to be back by week 1, but there's no guarantee. There's going to be that long healing process. So Devondre Campbell was picked up for that, and so we'll kind of see how that turns out. Now, with the Eric Armstead being released, he was getting paid a lot of money, was going to have a huge cap hit. The 49ers were able to turn that into 2 defensive tackles, Malik Collins, but also got Yetur Matos Gross. There are a few other re-signings regarding Colton McKivitz, John Feliciano, so they bring back that offensive line. You have Jordan Elliott, who's also going to partner as well in that defensive tackle spot with Malik Collins. So from there, you could say they're almost the same. Maybe some can argue they got a little bit better with the defense with Leonard Floyd and Gross. And so the question is, on paper, they still look competitive, but other teams have gotten better. And so can they string these things together? Which leads us to our very early Super Bowl 2025 matchup prediction. And we're going to go ahead and start off with the AFC. Kansas City Chiefs, who have they've won back-to-back Super Bowls, are going for the first three-peat. And so they're trying to see, can they repeat this? But you have several AFC teams that are getting better. Look no further than the Jets, who weren't healthy, who have been trying to stock up again. You have the Houston Texans, who were great behind C.J. Stroud, have been reloading this offseason with a lot of big signings. And so, with that said, my AFC Championship prediction is Kansas City versus the Texans. There are some cases for the Dolphins, but let's face it, the Dolphins' defense is just not where it needs to be able to compete with these other teams. So my prediction is it's going to be Kansas City versus the Texans in the AFC Championship, with experience leading Kansas City to the Super Bowl again in 2025 for a potential chance for a three-peat. Now, on the NFC side, My NFC Championship prediction are the 49ers versus the Green Bay Packers. I think Green Bay has made some big significant changes. We've seen that they were the youngest team in the NFL last year. They're only getting better. And then they made some key signings with Josh Jacobs heading over to Green Bay. So you're talking about that team that only got stronger. And I see the 49ers versus Green Bay in the NFC Championship with, you guessed it, the 49ers coming out on top because of experience and Kyle Shanahan owning LaFleur in the playoffs. Let's just call it as it is. And also, I think Jordan Love is still the weak link for the Green Bay Packers. And although they've kind of surrounded him with a lot of talent, it's still going to come back to Jordan Love not being able to carry the team to the Super Bowl. And so we're going to see a rematch of the 49ers and Chiefs again, the third time in the past 8 years. And I think this will be the finally the year that Brock Purdy gets Kyle Shanahan over the hump. And Brock Purdy is going to be your Super Bowl MVP, and the 49ers will finally come home with that sixth Lombardi that's eluded them for over 30 years. And that's the prediction. That's a very early prediction. Again, there's still the draft. There's still other moves that happen. You have training camp. You have injuries that happen. But the very early prediction, assuming that the 49ers are going to make the right moves during the draft, hopefully restocking the offensive line, getting a good tackle and a guard for your future, hopefully a few different offensive line signings, and maybe some corners, because they only have one secondary starter that's signed for next year. And so there's going to have to be some movement there. But I do think with everything as it is right now, we're going to see a rematch of the 49ers and Chiefs in 2025 to see who can bring home that Lombardi. Will the Chiefs make the dynasty and seal that with 3 Super Bowls in a row, or will Kyle Shanahan finally get over the hump with Brock Purdy? And that's my guess. That is the prediction. Brock Purdy will come home with the Super Bowl MVP, and Kyle Shanahan will get his first Super Bowl victory as a 49ers head coach. And that's all we have today on Ninerology. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time.